where it says 4/7 times 7/2? Yeah, you see that okay? All right, I'm gonna try to make it just a little bit bigger here. Okay, so we have, when we do fractions, when we're multiplying and dividing, we don't need common denominators, okay? Life is good. We don't need common denominators. We can do things very simply. I'm going to show you the super simple method first, and then I'm going to show you like a little bit more challenging, but that does make it easier in the end. So if I've got 4/7 times 7/2, I'm going to do top times top, and I'm going to do bottom times bottom, okay? So top times top, what's 4 times 7? 28 for us. I know how you guys, all you guys are staying on mute, so I'll say the answers, but you should be thinking them in your head too. Got it? Okay, and then 7 times 2 is going to give us 14. So then at this step here, we have to say, ooh, can we reduce 28 over 14? So I can say 28 or 14 goes into 28 twice, right? That's just a number 2. So the answer for this one would be 2. But I'm going to show you the other way to do it too, because you guys might like this way better. I personally like it better because it makes the math a little bit easier in the end. So I'm going to write it down here. So this is without canceling, or without reducing, I should say. This is without reducing. And then this one is going to be with reducing. So I kind of like this. You guys will have to raise your hands when I show it to you, and you'll have to tell me if you like it or not, or if you have seen it before. Hi, Vanessa, I saw you pop in there. Okay, so here's 4/7 times 7/2. So what I notice is that I have like 7s on the top and the bottom, and I have 4 and 2 on the top and the bottom. And that means I can reduce them first. So like, for example, 7 divided by 7, 7s can both be reduced by 7. If I divide 7 by 7, I get 1. If I divide this 7 by 7, I get 1. I divided the top and the bottom by the same thing because it could. Now, I still have a 4 and a 2. Well, 4 is divisible by 2 and 2 is divisible by 2. So I can say 4 divided by 2 is 2 and 2 divided by 2 is 1. So look at this new problem. It's 2/1 times 1/1, which just gives me a 2. So that way of simplifying can sometimes get a little bit confusing in here. So I don't want you to use it if it's something that bothers you, but if it's something that logically makes sense to you, go for it, because it'll make the numbers at the end smaller for you to reduce. So I'll keep showing you both ways as we go. All right, so let's take a look at the first one, or the next one here. Okay, so 3/5 times 25/6. Okay, so top times top, that gives me 75. Bottom times bottom, that gives me 30, right? So how many times does 30 go into 75, 30, 60? So that's twice. So that's 2, and 75 minus 60 gives me 15/30, but then I still need to reduce the 15/30, and 15 is half of 30, so my final answer is 2 1/2. So let's look at the reducing method. Okay, so the reducing method, I look at 5 and 25, and I think both of those are divisible by 5. So 5 divided by 5 gives me 1. 25 divided by 5 gives me 5. 3 and 6 are both divisible by, ooh, it's trying to call me right now. 3 and 6 are both divisible by 3. So 3 divided by 3 is 1, and 6 divided by 3 is 2. So if I do 1 times 5, I end up with 5 on the top, and 1 times 2, I've got 2 on the bottom. And that also gives you a mixed number of 2 1/2. So raise your hands if you've seen the reducing method before, if you've seen that. Have you seen that before? And some of you haven't seen it, so it's kind of brand new. Do you like it better? Is it better or worse? Raise your hand if it's better. Better? Not so much? Okay, so we got mixed results. So we'll go with that. Okay, so let's do one more like this. Okay, 4/5 times 3/2. Top times top gives me 12. Bottom times bottom gives me 10. 10 goes into 12 one time with 2 left over. So that's 1, and we divide both of these by 2, and we get 1/5. Okay, I'm just going to leave that one there, and we'll move on so that we have plenty of time to do all of these. We can always come back. All right, so then a little bit more challenging with the multiplication, we have some mixed numbers or some whole numbers here. What is hiding under every single whole number? There's a little secret that's hiding under all those whole numbers. Does anybody know what's hiding? You could use your finger to show me. There's a 1. There's a 1. Yes, good job, Aiden. Good job, Isabella. There is a 1 underneath there. So I can quickly draw like 22 over 1, 18 over 1, 24 over 1. Perfection. So this 4 and 2 over 11, can I use it like that? No, I can't use it like that. I have to change it. Hi, Zion, welcome. So I have to change it. I have to do you have a question, Isabel? No, you just, okay. So I have to do 4 times 11, which gives me 44, and add the 2. So we multiply and then we add. So what does it give me? 46? Did I do that right? 46? Okay, so I got 46 over 11 times 22 over 1. Now this is an example where that reducing really helps, right? Because do you want to do 46 times 22? I don't want to do 46 times 22. So I'm looking at the fact that 11 can go into 11 and it can go into 22. So 11 divided by 11 gives me 1. 22 divided by 11 gives me 2. Oh, I can do that so much easier. 46 doubled. What's that going to give me? Was that like 92? Agree? Disagree? Agree? 92. I'm going with it. 92. So we put 92 up here. Okay? And just so you guys know, if you hear me say something that's like totally off, you got to stop me, because every so often I talk too much and I write down the wrong number. Don't let your brain hurt too much. Like, go like, stop. Is that the right number? Grace, what are you doing? Okay, so here we've got the 18 over 1. And then we're going to multiply by this mixed number, but I got to change this mixed number first. So I've got to do 9 times 7. That's going to give me 63. Okay. That's going to give me 63. And 63 plus 4 is going to give me 67. So 67 over 9. Yuck, another big one. If I did top times top, I'd have 18 times 67. Not in the mood to do that myself. So I'm going to look around and say, can I reduce anybody? Well, guess what? I can reduce 18 and 9 by 9. I can divide 9 by 9 and get 1, and I can divide 18 by 9 and I can get 2. So top times top is going to give me 2 times 67. What is that one? 120, 134? What do you think? 134? I'm going to go with 134. So I forgot to show you, still on the bottom of this, there's a 1 times a 1. Why do you think I didn't write it? I didn't write it there because I didn't need to. It's just 134. Okay, so I got a message from one student that I'm really glitchy. Anybody else, am I glitchy? Glitchy? If I'm thumbs down, if I'm glitchy. Okay, so everybody else is kind of reading me right. You might want to come back out and come back in if you're having issues with my words. Maybe switch an internet, maybe get closer to your router or something. That might help. Okay, so we've got 1/2 here times 24. This one's almost like one I can do in my head. It's basically saying 1/2 of 24. Some of you guys saw that on the multiplication and division review sheet, like that of, using the word of. When we say 1/2 of 24, it's like, give me half of those 24 M&Ms that you have, which would, in my mind, be 12. Of course, I would want all 24 M&Ms, but that's a whole nother story. That's why I don't have my Halloween candy yet. Does anybody have Halloween candy in their house yet? Yes? Oh, are you eating it all? I would be eating it all. I can't have it in my house yet. Oh, is it sealed up? Is the bag sealed? Mom, Dad, somebody won't let you eat it yet? See, when I'm the mom in the house, I open it all up. Okay, so we'll come back to these multiplication problems. Let me go to division really quick, and then if we have time, we'll come back to some more multiplication. So division is it's going to work with us, going to be so similar to multiplication, but we have to do a couple of things first, okay? Are you ready? You probably heard these words. We want to keep Then we want to change. Then we want to flip. What? How many of you heard keep, change, flip before? Anybody? Good. Okay, so you guys are familiar. So keep the first fraction or number, whatever that ends up being. Okay, keep the first fraction. Then we're going to change the sign, and we're going to flip the second fraction. The technical word for that flipping, okay, is called the reciprocal. How many of you know the word reciprocal? Anybody heard the word reciprocal? Ooh, brand new word for a lot of people. Awesome. Okay, so let's take a trip. Let's take a trip with that. So I have 8/9 divided by 4/5. Okay, so that 8/9 divided by 4/5. I'm going to keep the 8/9. I'm going to change my sign to multiplication. I wasn't very specific there. You might have thought I was going to change it to like adding or something, right? So no, you knew it wasn't going to. So we're going to do times, and then we're going to flip this one. We're going to multiply by the reciprocal. So dividing is the same as multiplying by the reciprocal. Those are words that I'm going to get you saying later on. Division is the same as multiplying by the reciprocal. Anybody see anything we can reduce here? Raise your hand if you see something you can reduce, that we could reduce before we multiply. Can the 8 or the 8 and the 4, 8 and the 9, or 5 and the 9? We want to see if there's anything that goes into both of those. I see it. I see something. I see 8 and 4, good job, are divisible by 4. So 8 divided by 4 is 2. 4 divided by 4 is 1. So we do top times top still. We get our 10. Our bottom times bottom gives us 9. This one, I don't really care if you leave something as this, we call these improper fractions. But a lot of the times when you're working with multiple choice, like you are with the quizzes and the practice and the review, we have to know how to switch it to mixed numbers because they give it to us that way. So 9 goes into 10 one time with 1 left over. So 1 and 1/9. So I'll put that up here. 1 and 1/9. All right, let me write down the next one, which is 7/8 divided by 7/8. Wait, what? Do I have to do anything with this one? Let me make you think of something else. What's 10 divided by 10? You can use your finger to show me. 10 divided by 10. What's 10 divided by 10? 1. A lot of people want to say 0. I get that. I get that. If we were doing 10 minus 10, it would be 0. But 10 divided by 10, I've got 10 Hershey bars. I got to give them to 10 friends. So everybody gets 1. So anytime you take a number, divide it by itself, you get 1. So let's try 5,000 divided by 5,000. What's that one? 5,000 divided by 5,000. 1. So we get 1 again. So what difference does it make if I do this fraction? Isn't a fraction a number? So if I take 7/8 and I divided it by 7/8, what should I get? I should get 1. Because anything divided by itself is 1. Now I'll prove it to you. All right, ready? Let's do our keep the first one, change the sign, and flip the second one. And I'll prove to you that this is how it works. So I could reduce if I wanted to, or I could say 8 times 7 is 56 over 56. I'm going to reduce. 8 divided by 8 is 1. 8 divided by 8 is 1. 7 divided by 7 is 1. 7 divided by 7 is 1. 1 over 1 equals 1. So I thought that was a fun one, because even if it's a fraction, if you take a fraction divided by that same fraction, you get 1. Okay. I do see somebody ask a question in the chat. I will come back to you. Don't let me forget. Okay, so now what's the problem here? What kind of things do we have problems with here? We have mixed numbers now. And sometimes people get confused and they just flip the fractional part of the mixed number. We can't do that. We have to change everybody to a fraction first. So let's go through and just change everybody to fractions, okay? That'll make it easier for us to work with. Change to fractions. So I've got 2 times 2 is 4 plus 1, so I've got 5 halves. And I'm still going to keep my division because I'm just changing right now to the improper fractions.